change your name to...
I know many of you sent us a lot of questions about where to invest in crypto, and that's why I want to update you on what's happening with Yieldnodes. If you remember, we conducted an interview with Steve, the CEO of Yieldnodes, one of the most interesting and promising crypto programs, late last year. If you missed the interview, Yieldnodes is a promising crypto investment program that is based on Masternoding, which is not trading, not a Ponzi scheme, nor is it mining. So, loss of capital is highly unlikely. Now, of course, nobody can guarantee the future, and you need to understand all the risks in this unregulated industry. But so far, the returns have been pretty steady. And if you check out the website, it generated between 10% and 13% each month. The best part about Yieldnodes is that it is not tied to the growth of Bitcoin. So, if you're worried about the recent Bitcoin volatility, Yieldnodes can offset the risks and help you grow capital, no matter if Bitcoin is rising or falling. When Yieldnodes was mostly based on Sapphire Coin Masternoding, we can see the team was very active behind the scenes and grew the network and the community, taking over and growing several promising projects such as Decentralized Exchanged Heliobank, Tritium Masternode Hosting, VaultWatch Directory, new coins such as 77 Jackpot, Ultra Clear, and Azora Coin. This is really promising and shows the growth of the project in real time. Now, let me quickly update you on our account and its progress. As you can see, our current Masternode balance is €15,647.79, and the total return on investment, €2,901.59. We generated 11.1% in December 2020. We are also on our way to another 10% profit this January. It looks really good so far, and we're really happy with it. So we'll keep you updated with our progress, and if you would like to join Yieldnodes, I will put the link down below in the description. And now let me show you again our most recent interview with Steve, the CEO of Yieldnodes, so you can learn more about the amazing program. All right, well, hi guys, welcome back to the ZcodeSystem podcast. And in this special edition today, we've got Steve from Yieldnodes.com to talk about their new exciting program based on Masternoding, which generated over 227% profit using blockchain-based economy. So Steve, welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Drew. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, well, Steve, let's dive right into this. So first off, for those of us who don't know much about the crypto world and Bitcoin, what is Masternoding and how does it work exactly?
So Masternoding can be compared a lot to the mining industry. You know, there was I believe it was in 2017 when mining was very, very popular in the cryptocurrency industry. And it eventually crashed down due to regulations and a hype market. You know, as it goes, hype goes up and then it dies down. And mining is very similar to Masternoding, just Masternoding has a few key benefits, which are that Masternoding doesn't require any special hardware, meaning Masternoding you can set up servers in the cryptocurrency economy, and it's very energy efficient. So you're securing cryptocurrencies, you're securing the network at a minimum effort, and this allows us to generate very good profits in the Masternoding niche.
Okay, excellent. Well, what would be the major differences between Masternoding and mining? Maybe give us some of the ideas of how they differ and what people can expect when using Masternoding compared to mining.
Masternoding has significant benefits, like, for example, in electricity department, Masternoding requires very little electricity. So it's very easily affordable and very easy to set up. Also, the returns when you masternode cryptocurrencies are much, much bigger. For example, if you right now would start mining Bitcoin, you would need to be in a very remote area of the world to make it profitable due to the electricity bills. In Masternoding, there are many, many different currencies, right? At the moment, if I look at the bigger Masternoding monitors, we have about 280 masternodable currencies. And those currencies, because they are much lower volume, are much more enticing and have a much higher profit potential. So we can yield between 5 and 15% monthly when masternoding compared to very minimal gains that you could do in the Bitcoin market.
Okay, excellent. In the way of using up energy, you were saying that you have to be in a remote area. How does masternoding use less energy compared to mining traditionally?
In masternoding, what you can do is, for example, what we do on, let's make a very specific example. We rent servers from Germany, from a company called Hetzner mostly, which is quite a big name in the space. And these rented servers, as they operate in a specific environment, they do not use more electricity than in another case. You know, for example, like in Bitcoin, when you have a mining system, it's a specific hardware that stands in some remote location due to cheaper electricity. And in our case, the server can stand in Germany, it can stand in the US, and the electricity bill is not impacting the yield because the returns that are being generated in the space are defined by an algorithm, a mathematical algorithm that is generating a fixed amount of coins every 24 hours. And this is not concerning electricity or mining capabilities. This is a fixed algorithm that is always making the same amount of coins regardless of the server that is used.
Okay, excellent. Let's delve a little bit more into the yield nodes and the program. I know you started back in 2018 and you generated around 10 to 15% of profit per month for the early investors. Tell us more about the performance of yield nodes over this last few years.
Okay, so we started in 2018 as a private group, like we masternoded privately, and the program Yieldnodes itself, we're actually this month celebrating our first anniversary. So we're on the market for a year, since October 2019. And the lowest performance that we had was during the Corona month, you know, March 2020 was our lowest performance, because then the markets, not only the traditional markets crashed, but also the cryptocurrency markets crashed down. And we managed to return 5.8% in that month, which it's pretty good considering all things, you know, that basically the world was almost coming to a halt, as you know. So that was our lowest performance through the year. And the highest we had was 12.8%, which we yielded in September of this year, so last month. So the market correlates very closely to cryptocurrency. It correlates to Bitcoin, but not 100%, meaning you can take the Bitcoin performance as an indicator how masternoding is going. Like if Bitcoin is doing well or stays stable, masternoding is going pretty good. If Bitcoin sinks, the masternoding returns sink as well. If Bitcoin raises, they raise as well. They correlate, but not at a 100% factor, if that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely. As we've seen over the last 6, 7, 8 months with the coronavirus, we've seen a fluctuation with the markets and the job market as well around the world. What about with masternoding? You obviously said that it hit a low, but have we seen it rebound very well compared to, say, the fiat market, financial markets, and the other markets in terms of finances?
It rebounded pretty quickly, Drew. Like it took about a month to bounce back, and we were never really, it was kind of a really good test for the Yieldnodes program, because we could see what is happening in an actual market crisis. So while a lot of people actually lost during this month significantly, like the stocks market crashed, Forex was hitting kind of a real low, we rebounded pretty quickly, and we still managed, if you check the numbers, we still managed to return a plus of 5.8%. So in the past year, since the inception of the program, we haven't had a losing month, which all things considered, we're pretty proud of.
Well, that is certainly something to be proud of, definitely, especially as we are still in the midst of the pandemic that's hitting the world so hard. Let's talk a little bit more about the yield nodes. So what risks are involved for those who are interested in investing in it?
Yieldnodes is a very experimental way of investing. We make it very clear from the get-go that we are neither regulated nor licensed by any financial entity. Like we are not trading Forex, we are not trading cryptocurrencies per se. We are more like a pool program, like we pool the funds and we masternode the funds together. And we make sure that our clients understand that by signing a pretty harsh disclaimer that they need to accept the risk and contingencies of the program. So we are pretty transparent in that, but we cannot guarantee any results given the volatile nature of the business.
Okay. And is the deposit that the investors make, is that locked in for several months as you get started?
The deposit is locked in. We call it the seed capital. The seed capital is locked in for 6 months because we need time to set up the nodes and generate the yield, and a shorter period of time would put all the investors at risk because, you know, when the market is moving in waves, like it's always going up, it's going down, and it's going to come back up again. Like everything moves in cycles. And so we need to have enough time to generate the returns and put the program on a good level.
When it comes to investing, how can investors get in on the program? Is it using bank transfers? Can they invest through Bitcoins, credit cards? How is it that they can make a deposit on the yield nodes?
We urge investors to use Bitcoin if they can, because we do not charge any depositing fees or any withdrawal fees when using Bitcoin. However, we also understand that it's pretty hard for the average investor to get his hands, especially if they never used Bitcoin before, to get a Bitcoin investment going. So we also have wire transfer, we have SWIFT, and in the European area, the SEPA transfer, which is kind of cost effective, as well as credit cards. If you are in Europe, we don't have any credit card solution for the US market yet, but we're working on it. But all things being said, those means everything except Bitcoin carries a fee that is charged by the third-party service provider. We need to cover this fee, unfortunately, because this is what the third-party processors charge us. So it needs to be covered. So the easiest way to get into the program without any fees whatsoever is and remains Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. And can you compare the profit potential of the yield nodes compared to, say, Bitcoin or traditional stocks, gold, or even sports investing and sports betting?
We have a pretty good chart on the website. If you go to yieldnodes.com, you can compare how Yieldnodes has performed compared to gold and compared to traditional assets. So I think this is the best way to assess how much profit potential you have. While I'm no financial advisor, I always like to give the following recommendation: upside versus downside, meaning if you can spare a little bit of money and you see the compounding upside is bigger than, say, in the worst case, losing your initial deposit, you should go for that amount. But as said, this is my personal view and not that of any financial advisor.
Mm-hmm. A minute ago, you were saying about Bitcoins being the preferred way that you would take a deposit, but not everybody has experience with Bitcoins. How does yield nodes work for people, or what can people expect if they've never had experience using cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, and how difficult is it for them to get started using yield nodes?
You can, the easiest way to go forward about it is to make an account in Yieldnodes, and then when you go under the deposit tab in the menu, you see different means of funding your Yieldnodes account. What we suggest in this case, if you're an absolute newbie, would be to reach out to our payment processor of choice, which is called walletease.com. There's the link inside the members area, and reach out to a guy called Evert. Evert is the CTO of the company, and he's very much aware of Yieldnodes, and he is taking clients by hand, explaining them how they can wire in, even if they're from the US or from foreign markets like Asia, to start the Yieldnodes journey. So he's pretty much in the picture. He's giving personalized help, and is all around a great guy to get your feet wet with Yieldnodes.
Excellent. You previously talked about the past performance of yield nodes since it began back in 2018. Now, just to go a little bit more in depth in that for new investors, what is the stability of the program, and what can people expect for the, I guess, the stability going forward for the rest of 2020 and 2021? I know we can't predict the future, but what would be your comments on that?
That's a tricky question to answer, you know. Again, I like to iterate. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is my personal view. Like, we here at Yieldnodes, we are invested with our own capital. Like, we masternode our own money, and we believe in the returns and the viability of the system, because what we do on our first basis is we masternode cryptocurrencies, but we are also building use cases for the coins. What we saw during the period of masternoding is that we take more and more active role in the coins and start even hiring teams to build out the coins and the use cases behind it. We can not guarantee, but say foresee a much higher longevity for the project and for the coins involved. Like, we took over a coin called Sapphire in early January, and this coin has multiplied in value since it multiplied by more than 600% since we took it over. So we see the viability of the project by going deeper into the coins itself, building teams, and starting the process of generating returns. We also advise our clients to read up on masternoding by going, say, there's a very big top list, a very big ranking list that is called masternodes.online, where you can see the different coins at work and where you can see the liquidity of the market. For example, when you open masternodes.online now, in the top right corner, you see the general market value, which currently sits at 1.5 billion. And when we started masternoding a year ago, this market was at 500 million. So it roughly tripled in size over the course of 1 year. And we estimate that this trend is gonna continue, especially since one of the biggest cryptocurrencies, which is called Ethereum, is the second largest market cap, is gonna switch to a masternoding protocol, or called POS, proof of stake protocol, and will bring a lot of publicity to masternoding coins. And this is gonna happen between 3 months and a year from now. Estimated is a rough guess by me. And this will bring a lot of attention to the masternoding coins and will give the full market another push upwards. So all things considered, I think the outlook is pretty good. If, you know, Corona is kind of an unknown variable, so hard to assess the Corona risk in that equation, but all things considered, we are pretty positive.
Okay, that sounds very exciting going forward for Yieldnodes, Stefan. Just as we finish up here today with our interview, a couple more questions. And one of them is, what is next for the company? What new products or coins do you plan to launch under the Yieldnodes umbrella?
So far, we took over 6 coins. We have 3 more coins in the making that we will put under our reign, so to speak, but we also masternode coins that are outside our ecosystem, because we want to diversify the funds as much as possible. And going forward, we are acquiring aggressively several projects that are monitoring coins. So we are planning to offer our clients a more transparent way of viewing the coins that we masternode. This is planned for December, early January of the next year. As well as we are in talks of a very big energy project that we will launch with a very big car manufacturer in Germany, which will allow one of the tokens, one of the coins, to be used to charge your electric car at gas stations all across Germany and hopefully then on more countries. Unfortunately, these plans have been postponed a little bit because we had a flight planned for next month, but due to the Corona issues, we will make, like we do, a Zoom call and move forward with these plans early February, hopefully. Again, it depends on Corona, but, you know, as said, the success of Yieldnodes lies much in being aggressive and expanding in all directions, so we can continue to generate the yield that we do right now.
Okay, excellent. Now, if anyone wants to sign up and to join Yieldnodes and the program, you touched on it earlier, but as we finish up here, Stefan, can you just tell them what the first step is and how they can go about joining and starting to invest in Yieldnodes?
If you go on the Yieldnodes homepage, there's a sign up button that allows you to make a quick account. Like, you will be asked for KYC materials later on, but you can quickly make a username. You can quickly make a user's account by typing in a username, an email address, and get your bearings inside the members area. And if you have any questions, you can reach out directly through me. You can reach me over Skype under the handle Steve25M, or over WhatsApp under the phone number +356 999 57217. You can reach out to our support team, and we will take you by hand, explain you very patiently how everything works. And yes, that's about it, I think.
Okay, excellent. Now, if anyone wants to join, we will put the link in the description of the video, and you can go there and you can click on that and you can sign up and you can get all the information you need on Yieldnodes and get in touch with Stefan, and they'll help you out the rest of the way. Now, Stefan, I want to thank you today for coming on the ZcodeSystem podcast and telling us all about Yieldnodes and giving us all this information, because this is fantastic. And everybody, I'm sure, is going to enjoy this and be able to invest now into Yieldnodes going forward. So thank you, Stefan. And if there's anything else you'd like to let us know, please do before we get out of here.
It was my pleasure, Drew. Thank you so much for having me, and wish you great gains over at Zcode. Okay, keep doing what you do, guys. Pretty impressive.
Okay, thank you so much. Stay safe who you are, and we'll see you soon.
Yieldnodes.com is a passive earning opportunity that is the epitome of financial change. Traditional investment models are too slow to keep up with modern times and ingrained in their old unflexible ways, as the recent coronavirus crisis has demonstrated a house of cards that can fall at any moment. To be competitive nowadays, you need to be fast, flexible, and efficient. That's the core principle Yieldnodes has been derived from. Yieldnodes at its center, Masternodes crypto coins. By staking cryptocurrency inside promising blockchain projects, we gain a share of newly minted coins that are sold off at a profit for our members, or in turn restaked for even bigger profits. That per se is already profitable, but it does not end there. Yieldnodes is an ever-evolving project. Already since our well-documented beta tester start in October 2019, we started our very own cryptocurrency, Sapphire, to strengthen the Masternoding process. Then Heliodex followed, our very own decentralized cryptocurrency exchange, helping our members profit also from exchange fees. New currencies Heliodor and Cyanide are at the horizon, and there are a ton more projects to come, already on the roadmap. This is where the sustainability of the project comes from. In traditional investment programs, you depend on one factor, one variable that could bring everything down, or as seen in recent history, a global crisis. And history has taught us that time and time again, if you don't evolve, you die. All the added projects, as well as future ones, help to strengthen the network and leverage each other to generate these profit levels that are virtually unheard of. In a perpetually driven and efficient manner, with new projects and profit arms consistently being added. In Yieldnodes, you do not invest in a stock, currency, or a resource. Our investors don't own the money. They own the bank, the printing presses, the stocks, the merchants, and the marketplaces, and in turn profit from everything. You invest in a driven, highly motivated team that is always ready to transform and adapt and to grow together with its community, overcoming obstacles together and reorienting itself in this new, brave economy, where the biggest gains can be made in a safe and efficient manner if you can improvise, adapt, and overcome. Welcome to Yieldnodes. Welcome to financial change.